Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another anime review, and this time the anime that I'll be reviewing is a Netflix series called Godzilla Singular Point. Now in this series it has 13 episodes, to which I'll do my best to speak about each episode and give as much detail as possible, as well as giving the synopsis and also the episode title. So episode 1 is called Tozetto, to which it gives the synopsis as: Jack of all trades, Yun and Habaru investigate sounds emanating from an empty mansion. They locate the source nearby, while May, who is like one of the side characters yet to become a main character, also hears the same tune. Now, in this episode, we learn about the Yun and Habaru basically being workers to like an electrical company that is sort of like still in business, but also on its way to being non-existent. And we learn that one of the characters has also created an AI program, to which this AI program will eventually be downloaded for the character of May. So moving into episode 2, which is called Game Sum, to which Yun, Goro, and now Goro is the boss of this business, and their robot jet jaguar clash with a hostile pterosaur like Kojan. Rodan May travels to Tokyo to meet with a world's renowned researcher. In this, we do actually get to meet the researcher that it speaks about here, but we also learn like a bit of a secret too in regards to some of the things that are about to come about, but that won't show until episode 4. So yes, we do encounter sort of like a monster in this particular story. Now, I want to point out, I did watch this series in subtitled, not dubbed. So moving into episode 3, it's called Tigerish. A legion of Rodan swarm Negatio, the Otaki factory. The Otaki factory crew scramble to lure them away from the city, but soon find themselves surrounded by many more of the Rodan that are like coming to attack the citizens and places throughout Japan. And it's sort of like up to a couple of members to put in an effort to help save any citizens they can. So moving into episode 4, it's called Gadabout, to which Yun and Habaru deduce that Misakioku may be linked to a Ronan incursion. May attends Lee's lecture in Dubai. So in this, we have her traveling overseas, to which this is actually important, to which they're also trying to discover why a particular song has been playing during these events and what its importance is. May attends the lecture, and where the professor reveals new material in regards to like some of the scientific work that's been done. We then move into episode 5, which is called Fearless. Now, this is important because with this particular episode, there is a theory, or there are some theories that do sort of like get spoken about, but also get tested in regards to these particular events. So for the synopsis for that, we have Salunga emerges from the depths of Upala research station, shrouded in red dust. Meanwhile, Yun observes the Angriris exhibiting an uncanny ability. So in this, we get an appearance of a new monster, basically attacking the location to which they live, and they still have to go out of their way to protect the citizens, even if it means in bringing the military or the defense force. Episode 6, we have Infatio, to which it continues. May discovers a mystery code in a Professor Ashihari's research. So this sort of falls back into the previous episode, or connects to the previous episode, and we learn how that code might play an important part in things to come. The Otaki crew, so the Otaki crew consisting of like some of the members that we heard of earlier, such as Yun, Habaru, and Goro. They then confront this particular kaiju that is sort of like attacking the city, and it's up to them to bring in Jet Jaguar to help take on that particular, or to give some context to Jet Jaguar. Jet Jaguar is a bit of a mecha of sorts, which is created by Goro on grounds of sort of like, I guess, his own version of understanding of an apocalyptic attack. And Jet Jaguar is sort of like that piece of equipment to help go up against the odds. The Otaki crew goes up against the city's extermination efforts. So in the process, we do encounter more Rodan in the occurrence, some not as big as before, but slightly smaller. Jumping into episode 7, it's called Omniarch, which, following a group of Manda giant kaiju makes a landfall in Tokyo. Red dust forces May and the Professor leaves flight to London to divert to Milan. So whilst this is occurring overseas, we are starting to see that this particular red dust is slowly spreading all over the planet, which it originally started from in, say, Japan. From Japan, it's starting to go all over, and they're also trying to get an understanding as to why it's doing this. Jumping into episode 8, it's called Graftage, to which ground forces under the command of Matsubara respond to Godzilla's attack on Tokyo, and now in London, May attempts to decipher Ashihara's research, to which we learn that in this particular research, there is a certain code, or there are some certain codes that are starting to take place, but there's also slowly learning that there is a origin place to which this code presided from. Episode 9, which is called A Rumpet. Godzilla continues to advance on Tokyo, covering the city in red dust. The Otaki crew rushes to rescue a person ensnared by a spider-like kaiju. So in the process, we do end up coming across a spider monster of sorts, and in the process, we do end up losing quite a number of characters, and there are also some characters that do barely survive. So jumping into episode 10, we have it's titled Encipher. Back at the Ashihara's mansion, Yun and Habaru attempt to decipher the professor's research using Jet Jaguar, which is their mechabot, which is now in control of an AI created by one of, I believe it was Yun, who created the AI, and May also has her AI, which she downloaded from the website from the same user, and we will see an interesting thing as we draw towards the end with what happens with these AI. So in India, Lena takes May to meet with BB. So BB is sort of like a person who knows of a secret location in India, to which in this location we will actually learn more about some of the research to which some of these monsters have come about, and also what will happen. Jumping into episode 11, it's called Relaunch. Before heading to the Super Dimension Calculator, so BB offers May a view of the singular point, to which this is sort of like one of the key things of how this story is getting ready to conclude towards the end in the next couple of episodes. And the Otaki crew leave Tokyo to destroy Godzilla. So as they start to move towards, or decide to fight, or go up and fight against Godzilla, they have to make some important decisions throughout this. Jumping to episode 12, which is called Explorer, May learns of a large explosion triggered by the Ashihara's calculator long ago, to which they learned that this this explosion happened about 50 years ago, and that will also play an important part in the last episode. And moving into the next part of the synopsis, Kaneko gives Matsubara the orthogonal diagonalizer to use against Godzilla. So they end up coming across an important piece of software / equipment as well to help use against the fight against Godzilla. Jumping into the last episode, we have May, BB, Pelops, which is the name of, or Pelops II, which is the name of May's artificial intelligence, help to attempt to prevent the great catastrophe which is about to occur on the Earth. But Salanga ambushes them, so Salanga being another type of monster or kaiju. Whilst they're in this, it's also giving off like types of waves of sorts that are affecting the environment. And meanwhile, the Otaki crew must complete on their sort of like final push against defeating Godzilla, to which when we do meet the final defeat of Godzilla, we learn that Pelops must in a way merge with, say, the original programming to which they were, along with the code that they found within the story, and in turn it helps Jaguar take on and defeat the character of Godzilla in this, to which, spoilers, yes, after the defeat of Godzilla, the red dust subsides all over the planet, to which we get to see quite a bit happen. So during the defeat of Godzilla, we see that it actually helps to remove this red dust, which was also bringing out the monsters like the Rodan and other ones that made an appearance. To which, at the ending, we actually get a bit of a spoiler of sorts. We see the beginning of a Mecha Godzilla. So, no doubt that is a teaser for Season 2, and I would definitely like to see Season 2. Jumping into the next thing, and that is my afterthoughts in regards to this particular series. Now, I wasn't too sure how much I was going to enjoy this series. I had added it to my list, but never had really taken the time to check it out for myself. But after checking it out for myself, it does have an interesting story. It does have interesting lore. Even the characters are interesting, such as how we have characters that are qualified in certain areas. Mei is basically a university student who is also in turn sort of like learning a little bit more about the code of Yoon and Habaru, I think it is, or the members of the Otaki crew, and also how that also plays a part in regards to the singularity. So she does play a important part in regards to the discovery side of things, where Yun and Habaru, along with Goro, play a part in regards to fighting and taking on the monsters that are basically invading Japan and Tokyo. Yes, I will give occasion that there are places where they are unable to fight monsters, such as in India and other places that might have been shown around the world. But at least they took on what they were able to take on. Jumping into the next thing, and that is the rating. So, moving into the first thing, and that is the rating of the characters. For the rating of the characters, I give an 8 out of 10. That's just for the main characters. For the supporting characters, 7.5 out of 10. Moving into the next thing, being the soundtrack, I'd like to give a 7.5 out of 10. The animation, I would like to give a 7.5 out of 10. And last but not least, for the overall story, an 8 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day. And if you happen to have watched this series, what was one of your favourite episodes and or characters?